because as it stands, fishing is actually a $40 million industry. Fishermen are basically small business owners, yeah, and we understand the need to protect our borders, but we don't see legitimate fishermen being the issue.
All fishing vessels must remain docked for 7 days as part of border control measures to curb illegal entry into the island. The announcement has gained a swift response from fisherfolk who are concerned about their daily earnings. Fishing remains an occupation that employs thousands of individuals around the island. And while the finger has been pointed at some fishers as complicit in aiding illegal entrance, fisherman Kruthani Sherry says the hasty move to ban licenses for a week should have been done in consultation with the main stakeholders, the fisherfolk themselves.
The Prime Minister did express to us the haste and the government's reasons for reaching at the decision that they arrived at. But in every situation, we're saying that there should be dialogue.
The seasoned fisherman counts the projected losses to fisherfolk who will remain landlocked for 7 days.
Say 1 week, if in case you divide the total by 52 weeks of the year, it would basically come to about $500,000. Divide $500,000 by 7 days. Now, not looking at the offshoots of fishing. You have persons with restaurants who buy fish. You have hotels who buy fish. You probably have other eating establishments who buy fish. And knowing our St. Lucian public and community, they like fresh fish. So it is definitely going to be impactful. And taking into account, last week we had about 3 or 4 days of bad weather where fishermen were unable to go out to sea because of the weather conditions. The unavailability of fish coming out of the weekend into the beginning of the week is definitely going to hamper the St. Lucian public.
A lengthy press release by the St. Lucia Labour Party captioned, quote, "Do not punish fisherfolk to fit your false narrative," unquote, reads, quote, "Although the Prime Minister's action against the fishers is being labelled as a border control measure, it seems to be motivated instead by the need to maintain the backdoor blame narrative for the recent spike in COVID-19 cases, as this deflects away from the inadequacies of front door protocols. It is telling that one certified accommodation property has since recorded 7 cases of COVID-19 and that this hotel has not been shut for any length of time yet. Instead, fishers, none of whom have tested positive for COVID-19, are being asked to stop their business operations," unquote. The concerns of the opposition were brought before Prime Minister Allen Chastanet.
I think that the opposition needs to really regather itself and figure out where it wants to go. Because one day they want me to shut down the country, the next day they want me to open up the country. One day they're concerned about this, the next day they're concerned about something completely opposite. But that's not to take away from this critical issue with our fisherfolk. Fisherfolk provide a tremendous service to the people of this country. Protein is a very important part of our nutritional diet.
Why then did the government of St. Lucia resort to banning fishing licenses with such alacrity?
That Martinique announced a close down of its own borders. And we felt that that would increase the number of persons who wanted to come to St. Lucia. Secondly, in the investigations that we have been undertaking, reports continuously come back to us that persons are bringing people in illegally up to last week. And I find that shocking.
The fisherfolk's journey to the office of the Prime Minister did result in an impromptu meeting where the concerns of the government were laid out. Sherry discloses that another meeting is scheduled with fisherfolk and various other stakeholders like health officials, law enforcement, and telecommunications company Digicel, which is said to be providing registered fishers with GPS systems to track the location of vessels in open waters. Solange Alfred, HTS News Force.